Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Design Uncut where I talk about design, life, and career. In today's episode of this podcast, what we're going to talk about is how I cracked every single interview I went into. I remember when I was, working full time with different companies and startups. I have experiences with different kinds of environments, and in each environment, I was able to uh, quickly penetrate into, so as to say, for the lack of a better word. And every time I went for an interview, I was confident that I'm gonna get the job, regardless of what was going on during the interview. From the beginning, I was confident, and that is the kind of confidence you guys need to build if you want to start cracking interviews. So I have on my screen right here some very interesting questions which I feel every interviewer asks in some or the other way. It could be worded differently, but it's all the same. And these are questions which are there regardless of the field you are in. It could be design, development, product, project management, product management, whatever you're getting into. These are questions that everybody is going to ask you. So the first question that I've written down here is, what do you bring to the table? And I think that's a very interesting. This is a question that can be asked in three or four other ways. It could be, what do you bring into the company? What will you add to the team? Or what will you add to the company? So a lot of different ways to articulate this. But the number one answer that I have managed to come up with my past experience has been, I am exceptionally good at ABC, and these ABCs are your USPs, basically. This question is there or is targeted towards you to answer or to tell the interviewers, yeah, not interviewees, interviewers, about your USPs or your unique selling points in this case. And basically, you need to tell them what are the exceptional skills that all their other teammates don't have. You know, they're not trying to get a copy of someone else who already exists in the business. They're trying to get someone new to add something, to bring something new, to bring a new flavor. You know, and you can always come up with 2 to 3 USPs before even going into the interview. So this is already prepared. You know, they're confident that you know your strengths in this case. So that's like number one, what you should start off with. Number two is also very important to add as an answer to the same question. What do you bring to the table, or what do you add to the company? You need to tell them what is that extra hint of magic that you will add to the business. By telling them how in the past, if you have past experience, you can always tell them how you added value to the business, you brought in more business. For them, it is always an added benefit if somebody can add or bring in more business. So, for example, you are pitching for, or you're trying to get into a SaaS-based company. Okay, they provide services to different companies, maybe marketing services or maybe graphic design services, whatever they're adding to other companies. You can say, I will bring business. I will bring business because there are a lot of clients that already trust me. And for example, you're a graphic designer, you've done freelancing before. So you can always tell them that there are a lot of clients who want me to work for them. But now, since I'll be joining you, I can always bring in some of my clients in. And they would definitely like to take services from your company. That they will never expect. They never expect you to actually bring in real business. All they expect you to do is, okay, do the work that we give you. So if they're not expecting it, it'll be a differentiating factor already. So this is a very good answer you can put in. And this is something that I've used before on how, there are a lot of people who trust me, who, I can always create a community around, inside the business, stuff like that. So there are a lot of other things also that you can add to this question as an answer. But these are the top two I feel you should definitely tell them. What do you bring to the table? I literally bring business to the table. Which business doesn't want that? Okay. So let's move on to another question that I've written here. There are 4 or 5 questions only, so don't worry, it's not going to be super long. This is a question asked in a million different ways, but the meaning's always the same. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is something that I have definitely encountered every single interview. There are certain questions which might or might not come up, but this is one which will always come up. How do you answer this? How do you tackle this? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? You have to remember, this is a question not to impress the person sitting in front of you or the interviewers. This is a question to basically summarize you as a person, you as someone. They are going to judge 3 major things. Are you serious about your life in general? Or are you the kind of guy who gets out of the office early to go to a party? They want to know that. What are your goals? They can kind of figure out what's going on in your life just by this question. And there have been people who've done that. They also want to figure out whether you are, you're the kind of person who is serious about his career, or you want to be a designer for the next 5 years at least. So whichever field you are in, make sure they know you're going to stick with them for longer than the 6 months, whatever the period is with the company. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? The way to answer this question is to break it down into the questions that I just kind of broke it down into. Things like, I see myself grown as a human being. I invest a lot in myself. I read a lot of self-help books. I go to a lot of seminars on weekends, this, that. And I want to truly become a great human being. I want people to respect me. And for that, I want to work hard for their respect. So that will show your human side, apart from I'm technically so great at my work. Another breakdown of this question is, what is your goal inside the company also? They want to know that as well. So how do you answer that? That's very simple. You tell them how you want to keep on growing your skills in your current field. You tell them how you're a student for life. This is I think a mentality you should already have, is I'm a student for life. You can tell them that you believe in that. You can tell them, I've worked for so many organizations. I still feel like I have so much to learn. And to be honest, I hope, if not 5 years, I can stick around here with you guys for another 1 or 2 years at least. And you guys can always show me the ropes, help me improve so that I can give back to this business. And also, whether or not I go to another business is another question for another day. But definitely I can improve a lot of people's lives. And in general, for this business, even if I'm here for the next 2 years, I want to add so much that it feels like I went through an entire journey here, and the business is something that will, I can help the business also. So it's a win-win situation in this case. So there you're kind of hinting that you want to stick around for the long run with this company. And that can be an added bonus for a lot of employers. Okay. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? You've told them how you want to become a better human being, or you improve yourself mentally, physically, whatever. You can tell them how you wish to learn so much from them. You can always take them as a mentor or a guru, and that will always boost their ego. That is something that would boost my ego, to be honest. And I would be lying to you if I said I don't have an ego. So let's keep it as free or transparent here. And also, you must tell them how in the last 5 years you've grown and how you want to keep that streak. You can tell them about how you went from being. You can give them a little story. Make sure it's very short, but you can give them a little story of how you went from someone who knew nothing about design to being able to help companies with designing their products, and how you want to take that from not just helping companies design their products but also um, improve business, or to you know, to make sure there is good product management going on inside the team, because you're really interested in those kind of skills as well. So you can always add that as well. So that's, I think, that where do you see yourself in 5 years is done. And see how I'm confidently articulating everything here in front of you. This is literally, there's no script. There's literally two questions, you know, and that's it in front of me. I'm going to open the third one now. So literally no scripts, and this is raw and real, for real. So the next question, let's move on to the next question, is tell me about your journey. This is, a lot of employers have begun this to do, is tell me about your journey into design. How did you get into design? Why did you become a designer? There are different ways to ask this question. The special thing about this is there's no right and wrong answers, but there's a right way to share your story or share your journey. First one is to keep it short. I've seen literally, I can make out when somebody is getting bored, and I quickly try and wrap things up. But make sure it doesn't even get to that point of having to wrap things up quickly. Make sure it's crisp, concise. You're literally just sharing your milestones on how you figured out design is for you. Now, what have you learned till now? Where are you now? And where you want to go maybe in the next 6 months. That's it. Just 4-5, break it down into 4-5 milestones and just answer it like that. You know, take it as if somebody's paying you for your time and they only have a budget of like $10. So you won't give them like an hour's time, right? You'll just give them like 10 minutes. That's the max you should be doing. So tell me about your journey into design. That is my journey into design. This is what I was doing, figured out this wasn't for me. Why? Because, and never tell them somebody told you to get into design. That will, trust me, man, that will leave a bad impression. Never tell anybody somebody told you to get into design or somebody said it's a trend. Don't open with that. Okay. You can always tell them that, you know, somebody introduced you to UX UI design and you instantly fell in love. Hey, I'm not a con artist. I'm just saying these are the things you need to figure out on your own as well. I think that is very special. Make sure if you don't have a degree, make sure you back it up with how you learned design. A lot of times people have degrees, so they don't have to share their learning process. But you can always say, you know, I love learning a lot and I spent hours on end trying to learn design and to practice it. And I realized at an early age how practice is so crucial, right? So make sure your journey, even though it might be long, keep it short, max 10 minutes, less than that if possible. And your journey should have your biggest milestones. So this is in design or just in speech, the way we speak. If we add validation to certain points, people will believe you more, you know? So basically it's deriving authority. It's basically establishing some sort of authority. You're establishing that people trust you. You're establishing that you don't have a lack of experience. It establishes all these points. So make sure you are establishing authorities throughout your journey. So if you learned something and based on that learning, you got a project, tell them you got a project. Don't miss out on those points. You can keep your story short, but make sure you emphasize on your achievements and milestones. That will establish authority from an early part of the interview, because this is a question most people will ask earlier on the interview, you know. The next question, this is somewhat similar to what do you bring to the table, the way you answer it, but the content can always vary. What differentiates you? Now, this is where you tell them where you're an expert at. Don't be ashamed to show that you're not the best at a certain skill, not the best at UX research. Okay, for example, I'm not the best at UX research, but where do I compensate? Because they're gonna figure out your bullshit anyways. So make sure you're compensating for it. So tell them how you compensated for a lack of a certain skill and how you improved in that skill over time. Again, you are trying to establish authority, so you don't want to directly tell them that, hey, this, I'm not good at this. You need to establish that I wasn't good at UX research, but the best part about the way I learn is that I'm a quick learner, and since I've gotten this kink in my brain that I must practice something multiple times to perfect it, I will definitely, even in my time, take out my own personal time. I will learn everything like my life depends on it. It might or might not bring the results you want, but this is sharing with them that you are a hardworking person. You're twisting that everybody says I'm a hardworking person, but how do you emphasize on it? How do you establish authority around it? And if you can't establish authority around it, it doesn't matter. He's caught you. He's caught your bullshit, buddy. Just kidding. So that's the way I would answer. What differentiates me is I believe in giving it my all or not giving it anything. That is a different way of saying I'm a hardworking guy. You can always tell them how working with startups and as a freelancer has helped you become resilient at your work. Resilient in a way that you just don't give up. If you can't figure out something, you will always find a solution to the problem. Problem solving skills are now more important than your actual technical skills. And that's fascinating because it wasn't the same case maybe 10, 15 years ago, but it is now. I wouldn't know too much about 10, 15 years ago. I'm a young guy, so I can't say too much about that. But from what I've heard, now problem solving is very important as compared to what it was. So if you are bringing problem solving, if you tell them that that's an advantage you have over everyone else, it's always a good thing. And another thing what differentiates you must tell is what additional things or skills that you have. For example, I'm a UX UI designer, so I can always tell them I'm great at interaction design, and I've seen your application, and I believe interaction design can add so much to your application or to your service. It can literally help the ratio of number of people who are using your application on a regular basis as compared to the people who are just using it when they need it. Interaction design, animation, 3D, color theory. You can talk so much about how your photography skills have helped you in your design. You can literally share that you're from a creative background and that has added so much value towards creativity and problem solving. So all these additional things will really pump up your authority in the room. You'll be the star of the show then. For example, a lot of people in my family have been very avid with art. How everybody is from an somewhat artsy background, and how from an early age I knew what kind of colors were contrasting, what went together well, how to maintain symmetry, this, that, and how to break down a process into multiple facets so as to make a job easier. There's so many things you learn from a background of where you come from. So emphasize on that. That's something special nobody can take away from you. So those were like 4-5 questions people generally ask. There are other questions about, how much experience do you have? What, those are like very regular, straight up technical questions. But these are questions you can play around with. The questions that I just gave you, these are questions that you could play around with. I want to keep these podcasts short because everybody has a short, small amount of time throughout the day. And if they can't listen to a podcast in full, then what's the point of the podcast, right? So that was it for this episode of Design Uncut. I'm trying to be more, I have a webcam now, so I'm trying to be a little more quick on my feet with the uploads. There's going to be more uploads on this channel as well. Check out my main channel. It's just Puneet Chawla, not also Puneet Chawla. And that is for YouTube viewers. If you're on Spotify, wherever you are, you can always listen to all the other episodes. I sometimes also bring on guests. So make sure you check that out. Also, I did a little session with a Microsoft designer. I asked him questions about how to get a job at companies like Microsoft, Google, etc. So check out, it's a video. So check it out on YouTube. I'll have a link attached with this podcast or under this video if you're watching it on YouTube. Hopefully I'll see you every week. That's my schedule. That's the schedule I'm promising. And I will stand up to that. I can assure you. Have a great weekend. It's Friday here, so have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Till then, God bless.